And full screen. Perfect. So percent increase, percent decrease. You will see and hear about this a lot, especially now. One thing that we're really concerned with is prices increasing. And then you want to look at the situation where it's like, okay, well, is that really a big increase, or does it sound worse than what it is? Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of go over what this looks like, all right? So, oh, wrong color. So percent increase is basically going to equal the amount of increase over the original. Okay? Now what I mean by original is that is always going to be a little bit different. It could be like original price or it could be like original number. It's just the original. Okay? Another way that we can write this is new minus old divided by old. Okay? So for example here, a postage stamp in 2002 cost $0.37. In 2021, the same postage stamp cost, and I forget, I had it in my head, I think is it 51 cents? Anybody still mail things? Nobody mails things anymore? Okay.
It used to be 47 cents, but now I think it's up to 50 cents.
Yeah, I thought it was like 51 cents or something like that.
I write letters to my friends.
Here it is.
Far away.
So, let me see. First class mail, 51 cents. Yeah, the only thing I send off the mail is taxes. All right. So a postage stamp in 2002 cost 37 cents. In 2021, the same postage stamp cost 51 cents. Calculate the percent or how about the percentage increase? So here's what we know. What are you chewing on? You're not allowed to chew on that. So here's what we know. We know that the cost of a stamp increased. So when I go ahead and label these things like new and old, the new price is going to be the price today, 51 cents. And then obviously the old price is going to be the original price that I'm comparing it to, 37 cents. So my percent increase is going to equal the new price, 0.51, minus the old price, 0.37, divided by the old price, which is 0.37. Okay? So off to the right, I'll do my work. 0.51 minus 0.37, I have to borrow. 11 minus 7 is 4. And 4 minus 3 is 1. So it's gone up 14 cents. But the question becomes, is that a big increase in price? Like, what's the percentage increase on that? So what I have to do is take 0.14 and divide it by 0.37, and that's going to give me that percentage increase. Okay? So, once again, off to the right. I'm going to divide these two numbers. I move to the right 2 spots. I move to the right 2 spots. And put a 0. So 37 does not go into 14, but 37 will, and I'm going to get out my calculator here just to help us out a little bit. It'll make our lives a little bit easier. So 13 goes into 140. Or did I say 13? I meant 37. 3 times. So 37 times 3 is 111. We subtract. So I definitely have to borrow here. So I put a 3 and a 10, 9 and 2, put a 0, drop it down. All right. So I'm going to go 2 more numbers only because I want a nice percentage here. So let me see. 37 goes into 290 7 times. So 7 times. I hate this calculator so much. 7 times 37. What is going on here? Give me a sec. I'm hitting the wrong buttons all over the place. 259. And we'll go 1 more decimal just so I can get just so I can round. So I got to borrow again. It's going to be a 1. That's going to be a 3. Put a 0, drop it down. All right, and that's an 8. Good. So far, my percent increase is approximately 0.38, which as a percent, we know to change a decimal to a percent, you move the decimal place 2 places to the right, and you put your percent symbol. So it's gone up 38% since 2012. Or since 2002, I'm sorry, 2002. So, that's how we calculate percent increase. But here's a good question. What is the one thing that people always complain about? It's always going up. What's that one thing that people always complain about?
Gas or taxes?
Gas or taxes. Very good. So what we're going to do is let's figure out if there's a difference here. Let's figure out how big of a price increase since 2002 was gas compared to now. All right? Because obviously gas is more expensive today, correct? Yes or no? All right. So what'd you say, Matt?
You just asked if gas was more expensive. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So here, I'm looking it up right now. So in 2002, wow. Does anybody remember how expensive gas was in 2002?
It was really expensive. It was really expensive. I think like 2002 was like the beginning of the end of like $1 gas, right?
Well,
or was it 2000? It was after 9/11. I know that, right?
Yeah. So hold on. Find the percent increase. Can't spell. For the following. So what we're doing here is we're going to figure out what went up more, the price of a stamp or gas. Okay? So, gas in 2002 was $1.35. That was the average price. Okay? Now, We'll do it in 2020. Because we're still in 2021. So we really can't find the average price for the whole year. We got to wait till the end. So the average price in gas in 2012 or 2002 was $1.35. And then the average price in 2020 was $2.17. How much is it today? Gas prices near me.
$2.70 or something.
Is it that much?
Oh, like in Washington, yeah.
Oh man. Let me see here. The closest to me is Marathon Gas. It's on Broadway, Mosside Boulevard, and it's $2.90. So it's already gone up, basically. 90 minus 17. What is that? 73 cents? Something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to do the math. Not worried about it. So here we go. Percent increase equals 217 minus 135, all divided by 135. So off to the right, I'm going to do my math. 2.17 minus 1.35. 7 minus 5 is 2. Got to borrow. So it's gone up 82 cents in 18 years. Okay? So we have 0.82 divided by 1.35. So far, are we all on the same page? All right, now we have to divide. 1.35 goes outside. 0.82 goes inside. I need to move the decimal place to the right 2 spots. All right. Put my decimal, put a 0. Now, 135 does not go into 82. But how many times does it go into 820? Six times? So 6 times 135 is 810. So 820 minus 810 is 10. Drop down to 0. 135 does not go into 100. So you would put a 0. Subtract, put a 0. And 135 goes into 1,000. What do you think? 7 times? I think 7 works. So we'll leave it there because I just wanted to round. So my percent increase is 0.607 or 61%. So when you look at gas and you compare it to the price of a stamp, gas has definitely gone up a lot. It's gone up by 61% since 2002. Now let me ask you this question, just because I'm asking. What do you think has increased faster? Gas or education?
Gas.
It's a pretty good guess. Anybody else?
I think education.
Yeah, education over the last 20 years has increased by over 400%. And there's reasons for that. One of those reasons, which I'm currently paying, which I hate, but I had to, are school loans. The government was really nice. And they said, hey, we're going to just open up loans for everybody so you can get an education. Now, that was really good initially because people were like, oh, there's money. That's good. But then schools got really smart. And they're like, well, if they got all this money, we're going to raise everything. Anybody drive down Oakland within the last 5 years? Anybody? I mean, I know it's been a while maybe. How many buildings are they building for the university down there? Anybody ever notice that? There's a new building almost every year. Or they're redoing one and they make it look brand new. So what ended up happening was schools rose all their tuition fees, everything, dramatically because students were getting all this money, which makes education more expensive, which means now we have all this loan money out there, and now we're in a student loan crisis. Who do you blame? I think it's a valid question. What do you guys think? Any of you get school loans? You don't have to tell me like what they are, but do you get a school loan? You got to understand the smartest thing that you ever did is signed up for classes at CCAC. It is by far the smartest financial move you've ever made. You may not think so right now, but trust me, in 5 years, once you graduate and you're working, you're going to look back and you're going to go, wow, I'm so glad I did that. My brother went to Duquesne for 1 year. It cost him $60,000. For 1 year. You know what you can buy with 60 G's? That is a down payment on that's a down payment on well, it depends on how much of a house you want, but it's a 20% payment on a $300,000 home. That is a very nice house. It's a down payment. Cost him 1 year. Smartest move you ever made? CCAC. All right. Yes.
I didn't have to pay for college because I got FAFSA.
Good.
I also got a grant for my disability from OVR, which is going to cover everything.
Good. If I were in your shoes, meaning every student in this room, the first thing I would always do every semester is go to the financial aid's office and say, can you let's find some money. Can we find me some money? There are grants, there are scholarships. There are computers if you need a computer. Remember, I posted at the very beginning of the semester, the COVID-19 laptop fund. That stuff is available. The thing is, all you got to do is ask. You got to make that effort. It's there. You just got to go, can you help me out? It's there. So take advantage of it, please. So let's get back to this because I don't want to bog us down with too many financial things. We learned about percent increase. Now we're going to do percent decrease. All right. Oh, wrong word. Old minus new divided by new. So in percent decreases, since Alyssa just spoke, I'm thinking about you, Alyssa. Your major is you want to be a dietitian, is that correct? Or like a nutritionist? I can't remember if there's a specific name.
Yeah, a dietitian or a nutritionist. It just depends on how long I feel like being in school.
Okay. So one of the things that Alyssa is going to be helping people with is, and I definitely need help with this, is getting your BMI percentage down. All right? Because you don't want to have a very high BMI, body mass index, which I don't even know how to calculate that stuff. But what I do know is a very high percentage number, not good, so you definitely want to decrease it. Okay? So we're gonna learn how to do percent decreases. Now, basically it works the same way as finding a percent increase. It's just if you happen to get a negative number, we got those things right there that are called the absolute value symbols. All right? Anybody remember what the absolute value is? It's okay if you don't. I'm not expecting you to remember. How many of us have heard of it before? Alex, you ever hear of the absolute value? Can you explain what it is? Do you remember, or it just completely lost?
Absolute value is the absolute nothing left over.
Ooh, nah. I can see why you're saying that, but I'd have to disagree with that. So let's look at it this way. Sometimes when I give an example, people remember, but then it's hard to explain. Does anybody remember what the absolute value of 5 equals?
It's 5.
Good, Alyssa. What's the absolute value of negative 5?
Still 5.
Why?
Because you can't have a negative value.
Okay, but why?
Because that's what I learned.
And that's pretty good, yes. Yes. But nobody ever told you why, all right? So here's what an absolute value is. So if I have a number line, and I were to label the 5 and negative 5. So here's 5 right here. It's all the way to the right. And negative 5 is all the way to the left. Okay? If I am standing at 0 and I walk to the right, I've walked a total distance of 5 units. All right? So we say that the absolute value is basically a measure of distance. So if I'm at 0 and I walk to the right and I stop at the number 5, I've walked 5 units. Now, the same applies if I move to the left. And a really neat way or an easy way to think about this is when you're driving your car. When you're driving your car, you have an odometer. And that odometer always counts up. It never goes backwards. If that was the case, if I drove through the store, I would put it in reverse and drive back. That way I would never gain any mileage on my car and I can sell it for a lot more than what it's actually worth. So if we think about the absolute value as a measure of distance, then I know anytime you have a negative 5, what that really means, Alyssa, is that you moved in the negative direction. But what I'm really concerned with is how many units did you move? So that's why you can never have a negative absolute value, because it's always an additive thing. You're always adding on to distance. Does that make sense? So when we think about percent decrease, we may get a negative number inside here, but that's okay because we're just going to take the absolute value of that. Okay, and it's always going to be positive. So let's go ahead. Let's look at an example. John went on a diet. If you haven't noticed, that's me. So at the beginning of the diet, so at the start of the diet, John weighed 250 pounds, which is true. I weighed myself right before class started because I got a shower. So I weighed 250. Now, after 6 weeks, John weighed 225 pounds, which is where I would like to be. That's wishful thinking because I just ate pizza for lunch. So, find the percent decrease for John's weight. All right? So, percent decrease is going to equal this. Oh. You know what? I lied to you guys. I did have it right the first time. You got to change your formula. Everyone eyes up on me real quick. It's going to be old. I wrote old and I changed it to new for some reason, but it's old. I gave you the wrong formula by accident. So, just to make life easy for us, 250 minus 225 divided by 250. So that's going to be 25 over 250. And I'm going to make this even easier for us, because you got to divide 25 divided by 250. But just recall from our study with fractions that 250 is really just 25 times 10. And the 25s reduce. And since the 25s reduce, I'm left with 1/10 or 10%. So my percent decrease was 10%. Does that make sense, everyone? Are there any questions? All right, so here comes what I like. I like shopping. I like discounts. Anybody like me? Robert, you like discounts when you go shopping? One of my favorite discounts right now. Sorry, Alyssa, you're going to hate me for this. But Shop and Save always has discounts on Dr. Pepper and Coke. And I love Pop. And right now, their discount is 4 for $5, 2 liters. But you got to buy 4. So I buy 8 and get 8 2 liters of Pop.
Coke takes rust off cars, yet you're putting it in your body?
Yeah. Listen, I love an ice cold can of Coca-Cola. It's the best thing ever. Like, a hot day, you get a nice meal, and it has to be ice cold. Mountain Dew by the can. That's like a drug to me. I can drink a whole 12-pack in a sitting if it's ice cold. That's disgusting. Jameson, why are you laughing so much?
Because Mountain Dew is so gross.
It is. Have you ever had it ice cold?
I have, and it's still gross.
No, it's not. It's delicious. It's like candy.
You're reminding me that I need to just stop drinking soda altogether.
I'm telling you, I'm addicted. I'm addicted. And Turner's iced tea. I love Turner's iced tea. Love it. So does my dog, Artie. He loves the jugs. I don't let him have Turner's iced tea. I wash it up, but then I give him the jug so he chews on it. Now, does anybody know how many of us live in Allegheny County? That's a good question, because sometimes I assume that we all do, because Community College of Allegheny County. But some of us, sometimes we don't live in Allegheny County. So who doesn't live in Allegheny County? Jameson, Alex, what county do you guys live in, if you don't mind me asking?
I live in Washington.
Washington?
Washington.
What's the sales tax in Washington?
6.
6%?
Yeah, because I'm from Burgettstown, PA. So.
Burgettstown.
Yeah.
Out near Star Lake Amphitheater.
Yeah, I live right 5 minutes away from there.
Now I'm really showing my age, because when was the last time it was called Star Lake?
I've been there when it was called Star Lake.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I used to love going to concerts out there. But so we are going to assume Allegheny County taxes. So Allegheny County sales tax 7%. All right? Now there are some cool things in the state of Pennsylvania. Like, for example, in PA, we do not tax food. All right? Well, let me repeat. Let me rephrase it. We don't tax food that we deem necessary, like bread, milk, eggs, things like that. We don't tax. But a Slim Jim, we tax that. You don't need a Slim Jim. All right? That's considered like a vanity product. All right? We don't tax clothes either, which is pretty nice. When you go to the store, you see a shirt, it says $19.99, you will pay exactly $19.99. Now, there are other states that do not do that. They tax everything. except their taxes, the tax percentage is lower. So it may be like 4.5% or 5% or something like that. So, you know, you got to be careful about what's going on, because even though you think these people pay less, they might pay taxes on everything, whereas we don't pay taxes on everything. So it evens out at the end. Okay? So in Allegheny County, sales tax is 7%. Now, let's see here. Do I have it? It's been a long time. It would have been, I think, my hybrid course. So let me open up a notebook here. So would be MAT080, spring, fall. I think it's here. So give this a second here, because what I did a long time ago. Did I save it here? So maybe it wasn't the hybrid then. I am not going to waste too much time looking for this. But I have a receipt from Target that I wanted to show you. Because when you look at your receipts, there's actually a lot of information there. Math SC01 spring. I don't think it was spring. It was definitely fall. Way too many notebooks here. All right, well, sorry, I tried. I can't remember where it is. So we're just going to have to make some stuff up. So let's go to Target. If you're fancy, you call it Target. Like my wife. I think it's kind of dumb, but I don't tell her that because, let's be honest, she'll beat me up and I don't want to die on that hill. So, what are we buying at Target? Oh, I know. PlayStation 5 controller. They have a really good controller, although it's kind of expensive. $69.99. What else are we buying at Target? Come on.
Candy.
Candy. What kind of candy? What's your favorite?
These are in front of me. They're trolley sour gummy bunnies.
Ooh, that sounds not good. Sour bunnies?
Pretty good, actually.
I don't like sour candy. It makes my mouth water too much. All right, sour gummies. Is it a big bag or a little bag?
It's a bigger bag, I guess.
All right.
I don't know, like maybe $4.
Probably $5.99. Family size candy is usually about $5.99, $6.99. I always buy the family size Reese's Pieces. They're really good. All right, are we buying anything else at Target?
Can we buy something healthy?
Sure.
Celery.
Celery?
Pound of celery.
Celery? I was gonna say green apples at least.
Celery, that's nature's dental floss. Anybody you never heard celery referred to as floss, nature's floss? Celery, if you notice when you bite it down, sometimes there's strings come out. I had some pretty hippie friends in college, and when that would happen, they would floss their teeth. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, oh, it's good for the environment. I'm like, whatever. I'll just buy the Colgate stuff.
Nature's dental floss before.
There you go. Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out how much money are we going to spend on this. All right? Now, here's what happens. When you buy something at a store, you get two totals. You get the subtotal. And that is just the amount of money that this is going to cost without taxes. So that's your subtotal. So we're going to add all these up. And then you get a final total or a grand total, okay? So we will worry about the grand total in a second here. All right, so let's just figure out what our subtotal is first. So 9 plus 9 plus 9 is 27. Carry the 2. 9 plus 9 plus 9 again is 27, plus 2 more is 29. Carry the 2. 9 plus 5 plus 1 plus 2 is 17. Carry the 1. So our subtotal is $77.97. All right? Now, the grand total is going to equal, now this is a formula that you're going to need. So the grand total will be the subtotal plus your sales tax. Okay? And your sales tax is going to equal your subtotal times the tax rate. All right? So in order for us to find a grand total, we actually have to use the sales tax formula first. So the sales tax, remember, in Allegheny County equals 7%. Now, if you recall from the previous section from last week, we never ever use percents in our multiplication. So we always have to convert that to a decimal. So remember, to convert a percent to a decimal, you replace the percent symbol with per 100 or over 100. And since we're dividing by 100, you move the decimal place 2 places to the right. So 0.07. How are we looking so far? Pretty good? Pretty straightforward? All right, so our sales tax is going to equal $77.97 times 0.07. So I'm going to let you go ahead and multiply that. I'm going to go grab a drink. I promise, Jameson, it's not going to be Mountain Dew. Which is delicious, by the way. Okay, did anybody happen to figure out what the sales tax is yet?
$5.46.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. All right. So, to find our grand total, we just take $77.97 and we add our sales tax onto it. Because anytime you spend money, Uncle Sam always has his hand out. So we just add up the two numbers by adding decimals. We know how to do that. Align the decimal place and the place values. 7 plus 6 is 13. Carry the 1. That's going to be 14. Carry the 1. 7 plus 5 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. Carry the 1. So we're walking out of Target spending $83.43. How are we looking so far? Pretty good? Now, the one thing you got to be careful with is I can switch things up. I can switch things up on you. I can say, here's the amount of sales tax. Here's the grand total. How much did this? How much was the subtotal? Like, I could do things like that. Okay, so make sure that you have these formulas off to the right hand side somewhere. Okay. All right. Now let me give you one to do. So John went to buy tires over the weekend. Now, I did not buy tires. I'm just saying I did. So John went to buy tires over the weekend. And the sales tax was 7%. If the total for the tires was $490, how much was one tire? It's a really good question. So I went up to Goodyear. I bought some tires, sales tax, 7%. My grand total for everything was $490. How much was one tire? How would you go about solving this?
Well, first you would divide 490 by the amount of tires on your car, which is 4, to figure out how much one tire costs, and then add sales tax on it.
Okay, but I don't want. I'm not asking for how much is one tire plus sales tax. I want to know, when I'm looking at the rack and I see all the tires, what does the price tag say? Okay? What does the price tag say? So, let me help you out here. I'll get us started. Here's what we know. Our grand total, which equals the subtotal, plus sales tax. Okay? So, my grand total was $490. All right? I don't know my subtotal, but I know my sales tax is going to be the subtotal. And I can't write. Times 0.07. Do you guys agree with that so far? Okay. Now, what if I told you my sales tax was $50? What if I told you the sales tax was $50? Where would you put that number?
Would it go where the subtotal times 0.07?
Sure. So right here, we know is $50. So whatever this happened to be, this subtotal, I multiplied it times 0.07 and got $50. So I got 490 equals the subtotal plus $50. So now, to solve this, I just subtract both sides. They give me 440 equals my subtotal. And now, Alyssa, I just divide 440 by 4 because I have 4 tires on my car to equal $110 per tire. Which I think that's a pretty good price. I think for like pricier tires though. Anybody buy tires recently? I know truck tires are very expensive. Truck tires are pretty pricey.
Sports car tires are really pricey too.
What do you drive, a sports car? What kind of sports car?
When I did have my car, they were really, really expensive.
You probably got those low, what do they call those? Low walls or?
Well, I had bigger tires in the rear and smaller tires in the front, so.
What are you driving, a dragster?
No, my Camaro. One of my Camaros was like that. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the Camaros were like that. Is that like all Camaros or just?
Well, it was just the old one.
Okay.
The 68 was like that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I drive a Volkswagen. I'm like a normal. Just a normal car. I used to love cars, but then I realized how much money they are. Alex, if you could have any car, what would it be?
I know I want to get a truck. That's all I know.
Trucks are nice.
I just want a car that's reliable.
Yeah.
If it gets me through winter, that's fine.
Now we're talking. I like that. You know what kind of car I like is a car that when you take it to get inspected, you don't have to buy anything. Those are always good cars. Jameson, why'd you laugh at that?
Speed is always the right way to go. Speed solves everything.
What,
An expedition.
an expedition, those are nice. Jameson, what were you going to say?
No, so my mom works at a car dealership, so like, it's just funny whenever she like comes in, she's like, yeah, this person needed like 10 things to get their car inspected.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that. When I was in my 20s, that would always happen. And then I went to college and started making some money, and I was like, oh, I'll go buy a nicer car. All right, so sales tax we already went over. Now let's talk about commission, because commission is really closely related to sales tax. So commission is going to equal sales times commission rate. Now, first things first, and I'm just asking questions. Can anybody explain to me what commission means?
It's like when like a salesperson sells something, they get money for selling that.
Perfect. Yeah, you get like a percentage of the sales, which is a really good incentive to make sure that your workers are actually selling the product. From a seller's perspective, if you are the person selling, you want to make sure that you make sales, because if you make sales, you make money. If you don't make sales, you don't make any money. Some of those jobs are really good and some of them are really difficult. So if I have a really good experience in a store, I always ask, like, hey, do you work on commission? Because if you do, I want to purchase it from you so I know you're getting the commission. Okay? Stores like Best Buy, they don't work on commission there. So you can just buy it off anybody, it doesn't matter. All right? But commission equals the sales times commission rate. And commission rate, it's always going to be different. All right? So there isn't like one standard commission rate in Allegheny County or Pennsylvania. It's basically dependent upon what your job is. So, John, sorry, I'm really using myself a lot today. I don't know why. John works for a medical supply company. That's always you always hear people like that. Oh, what do you do? Sales. What do you sell? Medical supplies. So John works for a medical supply firm on straight commission, which means I do not have an hourly rate. If I go to work and I don't sell anything, my paycheck is $0. All right? So John earns 11% commission on all sales. During the month of July, his sales totaled $234,687. How much money did John earn? Okay? So, very straightforward question. Commission equals sales times the commission rate. So my commission is going to equal $234,687 times 0.11. Because remember, we don't do math with percentages, we convert them into decimals. So this is just a straight up multiplying decimals. We're going to have 2 decimal places in our answer. So let's go ahead and multiply it out. All right, so I get 7, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. Put a 0 because I'm in the tens position now. 7, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. I add. So I'm going to get a 7. 8 and 7 is 15. Carry the 1. That's going to be 8 and 7 again, so that's 15. Carry the 1. It's going to be 11. Carry the 1. That'll be 8, 5, 2 with 2 decimal places. 1, 2. So of the $234,687 that I generated for the company, since I get 11% commission on my sales, they will cut me a check for $25,815.57. Not bad for 1 month. Not bad for 1 month of work. But like I said, you got to be selling. Got to be selling. Are there any questions with this? Okay, so let's look at another formula here. We're going to look at total earnings. Now, total earnings kicks in when you actually have a base salary. Okay? So total earnings equals your base salary or base pay plus commission. Now, some companies will actually give you a base salary. They may say, okay, your base salary is $10,000 per year plus 11% of your commission, which if you're selling stuff, that's not bad. But if you don't sell anything, hey, at least you're guaranteed $10,000 at the end of the year. Okay? So let's look at an example using this. Mike earns $900 per month plus a 4.8% commission on total sales. if Mike sold we'll keep it simple. $100,000 worth of product for the entire year. How much will Mike have at the end of the year? So go ahead, try that. I'm going to let you do this one.
Mr. Float?
Yes.
Did you mean at the end of the year? Because you didn't put the word end.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, Alyssa. All right. Anybody haven't get an answer yet?
15,600.
How much?
15,600.
Okay. How'd you get that?
I multiply 900 by 12.
Okay.
Yearly.
Okay. And why did you do that?
Because Mike gets $900 per month.
Perfect. So Mike's base pay is going to be 12 times 900. Good. Now, how'd you calculate your commission?
I changed the decimal into a percentage, and because it's a factor of 10.
Oh, good.
It came out to, I took away 3 zeros, I believe, and that came out to like 4,800.
Okay.
That's right. Then I added both of them up.
Okay, so 12 times 900 is 10,800. Would you agree? All right. Now, Alex, I love the way that you explain the commission part. Since we're multiplying by a factor of 10, we count the number of zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we take 0.048, and we're going to move the decimal 5 places to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be 4,800. Does that make sense so far, everyone? Okay. So our total, all I have to do, and I'm going to just line everything up here, is just to add 0, 0, 8 and 8 is 6. Carry the 1. $15,600. So that's how much money Mike will have at the end of the year.
Mr. Floyd, I have a question.
Go ahead, CJ.
So I'm a little confused. In the first example for commission, we timed the 234,687 by 0.11, and we got the answer that we got in that first one, right?
Oh, okay.
In the second one, we changed the 4.8 to 0.048.
Yes.
Why is that different than the first one?
Okay, so remember when we changed from a percent to a decimal, what we have to do is replace the percent symbol with the per 100 thing. Do you agree there?
Yeah.
Okay, now, if we divide by 100, count the number of zeros, we move the decimal place to the left that many spots. So 4.8, 1, 2 spots. So you got to put a 0 there. So it'd be 0.048. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, with the previous example, since it was 11%, remember, per 100, now the decimal on the 11 is all the way to the right, so you move it 2 places to the left. So that would equal 0.11. Does that make sense?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that very common error. So really the thing to remember, if you're going from a percent to a decimal, just move the decimal 2 places to the left. That way you don't have to go through all the writing and everything. Okay? All right, are there any questions here? All right, so real quick, because we're almost done. Let's summarize, because we got some formulas now. Okay, this is the first time all semester where we actually have some formulas, okay? So we have sales tax, which equals price times the tax rate. Then we have like a grand total. All right, and grand total, final total, anything that means like, the end, okay? So the grand total is going to equal your subtotal plus the sales tax, okay? Commission equals sales or total sales times the commission rate. Okay? And then anytime you deal with commission, you're gonna hear like total pay will equal the base salary or base pay plus commission. I do not know too many jobs that work purely on commission. Normally, that's like real estate. I got one buddy he sells commercial real estate, and he'll make 1 or 2 sales a year. That's it. But those 2 sales will pay him the entire year. So I don't know. To me, that sounds a little stressful of a job. Only making 1 or 2 sales a year. But he's really good at it, so he likes it. All right, are there any questions before we get started with discount? All right. So the last thing we're going to talk about today is discount. I love discounts. So I like to think of discounts like this. So give me a second. I'm going to draw something real quick. So this is nothing more than just a bar with 10 blocks. When you go to the store and you're paying full price for something, regardless of what it is, you are paying 100% of what they're selling it for. Okay? Now, if they have a product and they're selling it for 30% off, then the way that you can think about this is you can like draw a line right here. And what they're actually saying is they're saying we're taking 30% off. You are going to pay 70% of what it actually costs, or what we think we're selling it for. Does that make sense? So there's a couple ways that you can go ahead and figure this out. So let's look at a really easy example here. A TV at Best Buy normally costs $550. On Sunday, this TV will be, and I'm going to keep with the example, 30% off. Find out how much the TV will cost and how much of a discount you are receiving. Okay, so it's kind of like a two-part problem. All right, so first things first. When Best Buy puts the price on the TV, they're saying this is what the price is. That's 100% of what we're selling it for. So if you walked in, you're paying $550. However, if you wait till Sunday, it's going to be 30% off. Okay? So here's what we know right now. Visually, I know this TV, 100% of the cost is $550. Okay? Now, if I want to find 30% off, okay, discount, and here's another, I don't know what happened there. Discount is going to equal the original price minus the discount price. Okay? Now, what I did is I did something really special here, okay? I drew this little bar and I put 10 pieces in it because each square represents 10%. All right? You can always do this. And once you get good at this, you can actually just do it in your head. Okay? So, if we think about this, 100% of the cost is $550. 10% would be $55. Do you guys agree with me on that? Okay? So 10% would be 55. So that means that each little box inside this little picture I have represents $55. So if I wanted to figure out how much this TV is actually going to cost me, I can take 550 and multiply it by 0.70. Because that's going to tell me how much they're going to sell it to me for. So, let me go ahead. Let's do the work real quick. 550 times 0.70. 0, 0, 0. Now I'm going to start off in the tens position. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 3 more is 38. So when I add, I get 385. 2 decimal places in my answer. So the TV itself will be $385. Does that make sense so far?
Why did we do the 70% again?
Well, because Because if you think about it, when you walk into the store, let me erase this real quick. I don't know why my computer's acting up. When you walk into the store, this 550 represents 100%. Okay? If they're telling me, CJ, if they're telling me that this TV is going to be 30% off, I'm not paying 100%. I'm only paying 70%. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
All right? So the TV itself is going to cost me $385. That's the real fast, quick, easy way to do this. And you can always do that. If you go into the store, you want a t-shirt, and it says t-shirts are 10% off, then just take the price and multiply it times 0.9. And that will tell you how much a t-shirt is going to be. Now, if you want to find the amount of discount, then what we do is we take our original price, which is going to be $550, minus the discounted price, which is $385. So, the discounted price, or I'm sorry, the discount and I'm just going to write it on top of each other so we can do it real fast. So I got to borrow 10 minus 5 is 5, 14 minus 8 is 6, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So they're taking $165 off the original price. Does that make sense? Okay? So, are there any questions with what we went over today so far? It's just a lot of formulas. All right. So, here, let me give you an example. Let me see here. Let me pick a good one instead of me trying to make one up. Do people still wear Levi's jeans?
They sure do in Texas.
I love Levi's. All right. All right, so Levi's jeans are normally priced at $59.99. I think that's what they are. I don't know. I buy all my clothes from basically Costco. Costco is like for me, it's like a dream come true. I can go there and get a steak, toilet paper, clothes, and a hot dog. It's the best thing ever. So Levi's jeans are normally priced at $59.99. Today, they're going to be on sale for 10% off. I want you to tell me what is the discounted price and how much is the actual discount. In other words, how much money am I actually saving here?
Mr. Flores. Mr. Flores.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, why do I hear so much feedback? How loud am I on your computer?
You're not that loud on my computer, but I'm right next to the furnace. If that's what you're hearing.
Yeah, I just hear a lot of feedback. Like I can hear my voice reverberate. But that's okay. What's your question, Alyssa?
I got that you saved $5.99 for 10% off,
Okay.
and then your discount total after the discount is $54.99.
I don't think it's $54.99.
I just have my head. Probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, no, I think it's just $54. So I agree with the actual discount. So real quick, everybody. The actual discount is going to equal $59.99 times the discount, which is 0.10. So since we're multiplying by a factor of 10, or better yet, since we're multiplying by a factor of like 1/10 or 1/100th or 1/1000th, move the decimal one place to the left. So $5.99. Now, that is our actual discount. The price that we're going to pay is equal to the original price minus the discount itself. So $59.99 minus $5.99 is $54. Good enough? All right, so this is just a little side note. You're not going to see this in your book, but this goes out to all my waiters and waitresses because I love all of you. You've had a rough year. If you go out to if you go out to a restaurant, whenever they open back up fully and you're feeling good, make sure that you tip them appropriately. Here's how you do it. All right, now it's up to you. Doesn't matter to me, okay? You tip what you think is fair. However, normally people tip around 20, 15, and 10%. Okay? Like I said, it's up to you. The easiest way to do this, all right, is to just look at your total. So let's say your total bill was $64.32. So you had a really nice dinner. To me, that's an expensive dinner. $64.32. That's a lot of money for dinner. All right? Now, if you wanted to tip 10%, just watch. If you tip 10%, what you're really saying is you're taking $64.32, multiplying it by 0.10, so you move the decimal place one place to the left. All right? So your tip should be $6.43. That's a 10% tip. A 15% tip, all right, would be $6.43. So it would be 10% plus half of that. So I guess if we're keeping this, very easy, $9.63, that's a 15% tip, roughly. Okay? Now, if you're tipping 20%, I'm going to write the percentage again. If you're tipping 20%, you move this to the left once, and you double it. So 20% would be $12.86 for a tip. Okay? Now, there's a reason why I'm telling you this. Number one, because it's dealing with commissions and everything. And tipping your waiter or waitress, that's a commission. So they get their base salary plus tips. That means plus commission. All right? But also,